Hi there, welcome to another lesson from Deptford Tutors. Today what we're going to be doing is looking at the Mock Set 2 Spring 2007 Foundation Tier paper from Edexcel. It's paper 2 and it's a non-calculator paper. If at any time you find this video useful, please share it, also you can like it as well, and also subscribe. If you need to go to a specific question, I've actually put the times of each question in the description so you can go straight there rather than having to watch the whole video. Let's get straight into the video now. Okay, so question number 1 says write down the value of 3 in the number 4302. The value is simply 300. Number 2, write down an even cube number. I can do 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So your answer is 8 for that one. Number 3, it says here is a list of numbers 7, 10, 25, 42 and 13. Find the number in the list where and write down a multiple of 3. So 7 is not a multiple of 3, 10 isn't, 25 isn't, and 13 isn't. So the answer is 42. Says here, number 4, there are 29 children in a class. 13 of the children are girls. One of the children is chosen at random. Write down the probability that the child is a boy. So we all should know by now that probabilities are out of 100. Okay, now, or out of 1. Okay, so we have 29 children in total, right? We know that 13 of them are girls, so I'm going to subtract 13 from this here. 6 and 1, so I know 16 are boys. Okay, so it says here write down the probability that the child is a boy if they're selected from the class. The answer is going to be 16 over the total amount, which is 29. Okay, number 5, there are 3 boys and 3 girls on a school council. The boys' names are Alfie, Brian and Cliff. The girls' names are Denise, Emily and Freya. A teacher wants to choose one of the boys and one of the girls to go to a meeting. List all the possible combinations the teacher can choose. So we're going to have a boy and a girl. Okay, so we can have, let's start with Alfie and Denise. We can also have Alfie and Emily. I've got a comma there. Alfie and Emily. And then we can also have Alfie and Freya. For our second combination, let's start with Brian. We can have Brian and Denise, Brian and Emily, and Brian and Freya. For our final combination, we can have Cliff and Denise. We can have Cliff and Emily, and Cliff and Freya. So in total, there are 9 different combinations that you can have. Number 6. Okay, basically they're asking you to simplify this expression 4x minus 2y plus 3x minus 6y. Really straightforward stuff. I'm just going to line up all my x's and all my y's together. This is 4x here and this is positive 3x. So I'm going to put plus 3x. Change the color here. I've got minus 2y. Okay, and I've got minus 6y. Right, let's try and answer these now. 4x plus 3x is going to be 7x. And I'll just use the same color. Minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8. Okay, it is not 4. Say it with me. Minus 2 minus 6 is minus 8. So that's going to be minus 8y. Okay, let's just write that in here. The amount of students that get that wrong is unbelievable. Anyway, let's expand this bracket out for part B. You've got 2x, open brackets, 3 minus x. All you're going to do is multiply the term outside the bracket by every term that's inside of the bracket. So you're going to end up with a squared term. So 2x times positive 3 is going to be 6x. And 2x times minus x is going to be minus 2x to the power of 2. Okay, which is 2x squared. Alright. Okay, question number 7. Dylan and some friends went to the cafe. Dylan brought himself a cup of tea. He bought each of his friends a cup of coffee. He paid with a £10 note. He got £4.61 change back. Okay. How many friends were with Dylan at the cafe? Now, Dylan only bought himself a cup of tea. He also bought his friends a cup of coffee, which cost 79 pence each. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do £10 and we're going to minus the change, right? That will tell us the total amount that we actually paid. Okay, so you're going to do in your calculator 10 minus £4.61. Okay, so we know the total transaction came to £5.39. Of that £5.39, I'm going to subtract the cost of my cup of tea, right? So you're going to take 65p away. Oops, should be a 6 there. So you're going to do £5.39 minus 0.65. That gives me the total cost of coffee. Yeah? Now, the question's asking how many friends were with Dylan at the cafe. I'm just going to take the price of all the coffees that I bought. I'm going to divide it by the unit price of a cup of coffee, which is just 0.79. Okay, so let's do 4.74 divided by 0.79. The answer is 6. So 6 friends. Okay, he's very generous, isn't he? Let's move to the next question. Okay, here are the first 5 terms of a sequence. We've got 14, 11, 8, 5, and 2. It says here, write down the next term of the sequence. Right, so we need to work out what the difference is of each term. And I can tell you it's reducing by minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. So if I've got 2 and I take away 3, I'm going to get minus 1. So that term here is minus 1. Part 2 says, explain how you got your answer. The sequence decreases by 3. Nice and easy. 2 marks there. For number 9, I've had to draw this out by hand. So if you need to learn how to do a bar chart, which you should know by now, but if you do, just visit my website, you can get it there. Right. A map has a scale of 1 centimeter to 25 kilometers. The distance between the cities of Edinburgh and Bristol is 500 kilometers. What is the distance on the map between these two cities? So you need to understand scale drawings, guys. So we know that 1 centimeter on the map is equal to 25 kilometers. Okay, in real life. I'm going to draw an arrow to here. And I'm going to write 500 kilometers. Right. Now, if I do 500 divided by 25, okay, on your calculators, guys, do 500 divided by 25. It's going to give you 20. Okay, that's what our multiplier is, right? Now, so I did times 20 here. So in order for me to go and find the corresponding scale factor of 500 kilometers on a map of that's in centimeters, I'm going to do 1 times 20, which obviously is 20 centimeters. So what we're saying here, 500 kilometers, right, is equivalent to 20 centimeters on our scale map. So that's your answer. Right, it says here, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so we've got here, Robin is describing a shape to her friend Lily. Robin says, the shape has four sides. It only has one pair of parallel sides. What shape is Robin describing? I'll just sketch it out for you here. Yeah, one pair of parallel sides. It's a trapezium. Okay. In the next part, Lily then describes a shape. She says the shape has 4 sides. It has 2 pairs of equal opposite sides. The opposite sides are parallel. Is she correct? Yes, she is correct. Let me just draw them very quickly. You can have a rectangle. See? 2 pairs of parallel sides. Or you can have a parallelogram. Oops, that's a bit too far. There you go. Okay. So let's write it here. She is correct. You can have a rectangle and a parallelogram. Okay, here's another question that a lot of students get stuck on. It says here, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 3x minus 2 for the values of x from -2 to 4. Okay, so they've given you specific values of x, right? Y equals 3x minus 2 is a straight line. Okay, now they've told us that these are our values of x. Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's do -2. Actually, let's rub that out. Rid of that. Let's do x. Okay, and let's do -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now let's put spaces in between all of these. And let's just draw a very crude looking table. So we have our x coordinates already. We just need a corresponding y coordinate. Okay, how are we going to do this? I'm going to show you. If we're saying y is equal to 3x minus 2, what I need to do is plug in or substitute each value of x into here, and I'll get a corresponding y value. So let's do that now. So if we say y is equal to 3, let's do -2, open brackets, -2, close brackets, -2. This means 3 times -2. So we're going to have y equals 3 times -2, which is -6, -2 again. Okay? So y is equal to -8 for this one. Yeah? Let's do the next one. Let's do 0 actually, because that way we don't have to keep going through all of them. Let's say now we've got y is equal to 3x minus 2. Now y is equal to 3, put 0 in place of the x, minus 2. We all should know that 3 times nothing is nothing. So you're just going to end up with -2. So when x is 0, y is -2. Okay, just write that there. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get our final value here, and I'm going to say when x is equal to 4. So y equals, again, 3x minus 2. Let's replace the x with a 4 in the bracket. We're going to do 3 times 4, which is positive 12, take away 2. Therefore, y is equal to 10. Okay. So we have our coordinates here. So let's write out some of these here. We've got -2, -8. We have 0 and -2. And we have 4 and 10. Okay, so here's a straight line here. And this is y equals 3x minus 2. Right? I've plotted the coordinates, the y-intercept here. Just makes it easier and quicker to complete. Okay, next question. In the grid, reflect shape A in the mirror line. The mirror line is here. Okay, can you see that, guys? Yeah? So we need to count from each point how far we are from the mirror line. So this particular point here, 1, 2 spaces. So we're going to go 2 spaces away from the mirror on that side. And that's going to be here. Right? Consequently, this space will be over here. Yes? What about this point here? 1, 2 spaces again. So we're going to go 1, 2 spaces here. Okay? What about this one? We're going to go 1, 2, 3. This is 4 spaces away from the mirror. So we're going to count back another 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now I'll select a different color, and what I'll do, I'll just sketch this shape now, connecting all of these points. Okay? And we've got this point here, and another point here. Obviously you will be using a ruler. Okay. So they haven't given us a name to call the shape, so let's just call it A apostrophe. Okay. Okay, here's part B, a nice easy mark to pick up here. They're asking here, it says here, describe fully the single transformation that maps trapezium B onto trapezium C. This is trapezium B here, this is trapezium C here. Okay? Now, we can clearly see that they're both the same shape, but they're of a different size. B has become larger, so we're dealing with enlargement, but we need to know what the scale factor is. How I work it out, I will just count along the base. We've got 1, 2, 3. So we know the base is 3 on shape B. Let's count the base on shape C. 1, let's try that again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now we know we can do 6 divided by 3, which equals 2. So I know my scale factor is 2, right? We know that the shape has been enlarged by a scale factor of 2, and it's been enlarged from a scale factor of 2 from point P, right? So your answer is really simple. Scale, oops, don't know what's going on there. scale factor of 2. I'm just going to write what's also happened. It's an enlargement from point P. Right. In this next question it says, a teacher asked Tyrese to find the value of 2n squared minus 3n when n equals 3. Here is his workings. So what he's done, he did 2 times 3 squared minus 3 times 3. Obviously this is a big mass question. So the first thing, there's no brackets. The second thing, there's an indices. That's what the I stands for. That should become 9. So we should do 2 times 9 minus 3 times 3. Clearly here, what's actually happened is, he's done 2 times 3, which is 6, and then he's going to square 6, which is incorrect, because we should actually end up with 18 on this side. So what he's done, he has multiplied before squaring. Okay, let's look at the next question. The teacher then asked Megan to find the value of 2n squared minus 3n when n is minus 4. So what she's done 2 multiplied by minus 4 squared minus 3 times minus 4. If I was to square minus 4, I'm going to get positive 16, and I'm going to do 2 times that, which will give me positive 32. You can see here what's happened. She's done minus 4 squared, but she's written it as minus 16 in the answer, which is incorrect. So the mistake she made was she incorrectly evaluated this. Okay, we don't need to log into Facebook. Okay, let's go to the next question. Okay, here is a list of ingredients for making 20 gingerbread men. Yeah, we have 350 grams of flour, 100 grams of ground ginger, 100 grams of butter, and so on. Sue has 1 kilogram down here of flour, 200 grams of ground ginger, 500 grams of butter, 600 grams of brown sugar, 100 grams of syrup, and 2 eggs. Sue wants to make 60 gingerbread men. She has not got all of the ingredients. Okay, it says here she has not got enough of all of them. So what we're going to do, they're not saying for you first of all to find out how much you need. Okay, the question is actually saying how much more do I need. Okay, so let's work that out. So if this is the recipe up here for working out 20 gingerbread men, Sue wants to make 60. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to times each one of these by 3, because clearly I know that 20 times 3 equals 60. Okay, so down here I'm just going to write 60. I'm just going to put GBM, gingerbread men. Okay, so I know 350 times 3, okay, is going to be 1050 grams. So we need 1,500 grams of flour. 10 times 3, let's actually write those in so you can see. 10 times 3 is going to be 30 grams of ground ginger. 100 times 3 is going to give me 300 grams of butter. 175 times 3 is going to give me 525 grams of brown sugar. 60 times 3 is going to give me 180 grams of syrup. And obviously 1 times 3 will give me 3 eggs. Now, let's compare them. Okay, she has one kilogram of flour, okay, which is equivalent to this 1,000 grams of flour, right? So for us to make 60 gingerbread men, we need 1,500 grams. Okay, so basically she needs to get 50 more grams of flour. Yeah, okay, let's look at the second one. We need 30 grams. Okay, 30 grams of ground ginger. We have enough of that already, so we don't need any more. Let's go to butter. Okay, we need 300 grams. Right, 300 grams of butter. Right, at the moment we have 500 grams of butter, so we have enough of that as well. Brown sugar. Okay, we have 600 grams of brown sugar. We only need 525 grams, so we've got enough. It says here syrup. We've only got 100 grams of syrup, but we need 180 grams, so we need to get another 80 grams of syrup. Right, we only have 2 eggs. We need 1 more, because to make 60 we need 3 eggs, so we need 1 egg. Okay, so our final workings here, what we need 50 grams of flour, we need 80 grams of syrup, and we need 1 extra egg. Let's highlight these. Okay, this is what you will need, guys. Okay, just going over the question again. We did not include gingerbread men. We didn't include butter. We didn't include brown sugar, because we have enough of those ingredients. It was only flour, syrup and eggs that we didn't have enough of. It says here, on a different day, Sue wants to make 50 gingerbread men. She has no eggs. She works out she needs to buy at least 3 eggs. Explain why she needs to buy at least 3 eggs. Okay. We know from our previous workings, 20 gingerbread men, you'll need 1 egg. Okay? So obviously if we're going to make 40 gingerbread men, we're going to need 2 eggs. But we're making more than 40, aren't we? We're making 50. So you're going to need another egg. Okay? Very simple. So for 50 gingerbread men, you're going to need at least 3 eggs here. Yeah? Okay. So let's write that out now. You want to make 50 gingerbread men. This will require 2.5 eggs. You cannot buy 2.5 eggs, so you must buy 3 eggs. think this is a pretty dumb question, but hey, you've got to learn it. Question 16. Fayaz bought a mobile phone for £180. He sold it at a profit of 22%. How much money did Fayaz sell the mobile phone for? Straightforward question here. I'm going to do 180 on the calculator, press the brackets button, 1.22, close brackets. Okay, make sure you put the multiplication sign there. Let's do that together. 180 times 1.22. He sold it for, let's get our units there, £219.60. Nice easy 2 marks. Next question. Use your calculator to work out 43.2 plus the square root of 99.05 divided by 0.193. Okay? Write down all the digits on your calculator display. Nice easy 2 marks to achieve doing this. All you need to do is just enter these into your calculator. Okay? Hopefully you all have a scientific calculator. Okay? So I'm doing that as we speak, and you should be doing it as well. Divided by 0.193. Okay? So these are the figures that has come up on my calculator. 275.4009671. Okay? So nice easy 2 marks just for showing that you can enter digits into a calculator appropriately. Now they're saying write your answer to part A correct to 2 significant figures. Okay, so your first significant figure is 2, your second significant figure is 7. Okay, so what we need to do is look at our second significant figure and decide, is the one to the right of it greater or equal to 5? It is. Because it is, it's going to increase that digit by +1. So your answer is going to actually end up being 280. Okay, so we're going to solve 4x plus 3 equals 7 minus x. What we're trying to do is find out what x is equal to. The best thing to do is get all the x's on one side of the equal sign and all the numbers that don't contain a letter onto the other side of the equal sign. So let's write it out here. We've got 4x plus 3 equals 7 minus x. Okay, do it the long way. What I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides of this equation to get rid of this positive 3. So that's going to become 4x is equal to 7 minus x minus 3. Okay? That simplifies to give me 4x is equal to, I can't believe that. Some people are going, I don't know why they decide to get these dirt bikes and drive them down the road or ride them on the road. It's really noisy. Anyway, let's get back to the lesson. 7 minus 3 is going to be 4 minus x. Okay? The next step I'm going to do, I'm going to add plus x to both sides, okay, to get rid of this minus x here. So that's going to become 4x plus x is now equal to 4. So 4x add x is equal to 5x, which is equal to 4. Yeah? What we need to now do is solve for x. Divide everything through by the coefficient. You should know what that means now. The coefficient of x, those will cancel. And you're just left with 4 over 5. So x is equal to 4 over 5. Next question. Neil, Craig and Keith are cousins. Their ages are in the ratio of 17, 14, 9. Craig is 42 years old. How old is Neil and Keith? The first thing I'm going to do is just label these up. So that's Neil, that's Craig, and that's Keith. Okay? Let's put those in that ratio there, yeah? Let's make that a bit neater. There you go. Okay. Now, I know that Craig is 42 years old and in the ratio of 14. So I'm going to do 42 divided by 14. And that's going to give me 3. So I know each value in that ratio is worth 3. Okay? Or should we say 3 years. Right? I'm going to use this value of 3. I'm going to do 3 times Neil's ratio of 17, and that's going to give me 51 years. And then I've got Keith. He is going to be 3 times 9 years because his ratio is 9. Okay, that's going to give me 27 years. I can't believe this is a 3-mark question. It should be a 1-mark question. Okay, so now Neil, we've found out, is 51 years old. And Keith is 27 years old. Lynn measures the length x centimetres of a piece of string as 3.5 centimetres, correct to the nearest millimetre. Write down the error interval for x. Right, so we have 3.5 centimetres, of which part the 0.5 is your millimetres. What we're going to do, we're going to do 0.5 and we're going to divide it by 10. Okay? That's going to give me 0.05. Right? This is what we're going to use to add and subtract from 3.5 to work out our error interval. So what we're going to do, we're going to do 3.5 plus 0.05. And then we're going to do 3.5 minus 0.05. That's going to give me 3.55. This one's going to give me 3.45. Okay? So these are our error intervals. So our answer is going to be 3.45 is less than or equal to x, but less than 3.55. Right, so we've got a probability question. There are 300 seeds in a packet of flower seeds. Each seed will grow into a white flower, or a yellow flower, or a red flower. The probability of a seed growing into a white flower is 0.62. 45 of the seeds, I should have put a full stop here. 45 of the seeds are expected to grow into yellow flowers. One of the seeds is chosen at random from the packet. What is the probability that this seed will grow into a red flower? Okay, now they're giving us some information already about the white seeds, about the white flowers, and the yellow flowers. We already know that there are 45 yellow flower seeds. Okay, so there are 45 yellow flower seeds. Okay, so if I was to do 300 multiplied by 0.62, let's do that on our calculator and see what we get. That gives me 186, because this is where it's coming from here, white flowers. Okay, so we've got yellow plus white. Let's write the yellow is 45 and white is 186. That's going to be 11. Okay, that's 13 and that's 2. Yes? Okay, so this answer here of 231 seeds, I'm going to subtract it by 300, and that answer is going to tell me how many red seeds are within the 300. So 300 minus 231, 300 minus 231 is equal to 69 red seeds. Now the question is asking, what is the probability the seed will grow into a red flower? All we're going to do is just do 69, which is our red flowers, out of the total number of flower seeds that we have, which is going to be 300. So now our answer is going to be 23 over 100, yeah, which works out to 0.23. Okay, this is our probability that if we pick a seed at random, that whether it's going to be turn into a red flower. Okay. Okay, here's our next question. We have, well, it says here 100 adults were asked how they keep fit. Each adult goes to the gym or runs or cycles. So we have 3 options here. Okay, now so we got gym, run, cycle. It says here 45 of these adults are female, so we have an idea. So 30 of the 52 who go to the gym are female. 32 adults run, doesn't tell us what sex they are, and 9 men cycle. How many females run? That's what we need to find out. So we know the total amount of people that were asked, which was 100. So I'm going to write it out here. So we've got male, we've got female, and I'm just going to put total underneath. Okay, so we can either go to the gym, we can either run, or we can either cycle, and there's our total there. Okay, so let's draw a little table. Okay, please use a ruler. Okay, so we know our total is going to be 100. That's the first thing. Now let's look at this information here. The first one says here 45 of these adults are female. Okay, so we know the total amount of adults are going to be that are female are 45. So that's going to go in this row here. Okay, so obviously 55 of the total men, yeah, that's going to add up to 100, right? Okay, now we know, so we've done that one. 30 of the 52 adults who go to the gym, so they've told us here 52 adults go to the gym. Okay, so the total male and female is going to be 52, and 30 of the 52 who go to the gym are female, so we got 30 here, right? So obviously 52 subtracted from 30 is going to leave us with 22 men. Okay, the next one, 35 adults run. Okay, it doesn't tell us anything else more. Yeah, now 9 men cycle, right? So men and cycling is here. Okay, so we can start working these out. For this one here, I'll just highlight it. Okay, we're going to do 55, because that's our total, minus 22 minus 9. 55 minus 22 minus 9. That gives me 24. So we know 24 men run. Okay? Let's do the next one, which is here. Okay? So we want to find out how many females run. Okay? This is really easy. We're going to do 35, because that's the total, minus 24. Okay? Should put a sign there, obviously, for that one, my bad. Okay, so 35 minus 24, it's going to be 11. Right? Now, we can now start solving for the rest of them now. So let's have a look at this one here. Okay? What we've got, it says here, we want to find out if you're a female and you cycle. I know if I did 30, add 11, that's going to give me 41. If the total is 45, I know that we're going to have 4 here. Right? And our final one, we'll just put it here. Okay. 9 add 4 is going to be 13. The question is this all correct? Let's just check across to make sure. So, 52 plus 35 plus 13 adds up to 100. Okay, we know that this column adds up to 100 as well, and we've already checked the rest of them. So this is what you should have for your answer. Okay, this question now. On a school trip, the ratio of the number of teachers to the number of students is 1 to 15. The ratio of the number of male students to the number of female students is 7 to 5. They're asking us to work out what percentage of all the people on the trip are female students. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. Right, so there are various ways of answering this. I'll try and keep it as simple as possible. They're telling us here that the ratio of teachers to students is going to be 1 to 15. Okay? Right. And we know that the ratio of male to female students is going to be 7 to 5. I'm just going to rewrite this as a fraction of students to the overall amount. So what fraction of the total number of people going on the trip in this ratio are actually students? 15 out of how many? There's 15 students and 1 teacher. So that's 15 add 1, which is 16. So our denominator is going to be 16 there. And in the question they're saying we want to know the percentage of all the people on the trip that are female. Okay, so we've got 7 and 5 here. There are 5 females. What is 7 add 5? That's going to be 12. So that's a total. Yeah? What I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply these two together. So I'm going to do 15 over 16 times 5 over 12. Okay? So that's going to give me 75 over 16 times 12 over 192. Okay? So 75 divided by 192 gives me 25 over 64. Right? Now, they want it as a percentage though, don't they? So I need to multiply this answer by 100. Okay? And they want our answer to the nearest whole number. That's going to give me 39%. Let's underline that there. For this question, I've had to write it by hand, so you can visit my website and have a look at the answer there. Right, for the next question, we've got a quadratic graph. It says here is a graph of y equals x squared minus 2x minus 4. And they're saying here, write down estimates for the roots of x squared minus 2x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom in, scroll down slightly and try and zoom in. Okay, right, so let's have a look here. What we've got, let's work out this one here. We know that this is minus 1 at this point here, and we need to find out what they're going up by. So this one's going to be 1.2, so that's going to be minus 1.2. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. It's going up in 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is at 3, 3.2, positive 3.2. These are our roots here. Right, now they want us to write down the coordinates of the turning point y equals x squared minus 2x minus 4. The turning point is going to be here. Okay, so our x coordinate is going to be 1, and our y coordinate is minus 5. 3 very simple marks that you can obtain from answering this question correctly. Right, the diagram shows a cycle track. Okay, we have a length here 40 meters and a radius of 27 meters. Okay, the track has 2 straight sides, each of 40 meters. Each end of the track is a semicircle of radius 27 meters. The diameter of each wheel on Ian's bike is 590 millimeters. Ian is going to ride his bike around the track once. So he's going to start maybe here and he's going to finish there as well. So let's put a star here. Okay. Calculate how many complete revolutions each wheel of his bike will make. Hear that? Complete revolutions, not halfway, not 1.5, a complete turn. Okay. Now, first things first, we need to work out what the circumference of this shape is. Okay. So let's begin. We know this length is 40. We know that length is going to be 40. Nice and easy. Okay. Because we know the radius is 27 here and the radius is 27 here, this can actually, if you put them two together, it will be a circle. Okay, you need to know pi d is going to equal your circumference. So the circumference of both the semicircles is going to be this here. So c is going to be pi times diameter. The diameter is actually 27 times 2. Okay, because it's twice the size of your radius. You should know this by now. Okay, so in your calculator, can you do that for me, please? Pi times 27 times 2. That gives me circumference equals 54 pi. Okay, I'm going to add back on this 40 for this length and that 40. So you're going to have now c is equal to 54 pi plus 40 plus 40. Okay. So that's going to give you c is equal to 249.6460033. Okay. Now we're going to come back to this in a moment. It says here the diameter of each wheel of Ian's bike is 590 millimeters. Okay, what I want to do is convert that to meters. Okay, so if I've got 590 millimeters, I know if I divide that by 10, that's going to equal 59 centimeters. Okay, and if I divide this by 100, okay, that's going to give me 0.59 meters. Okay, so it says here the diameter of Ian's wheel is 0.59 meters. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to find the radius, so not the radius, sorry, I'm going to find the circumference of Ian's wheel. So we're going to do pi times 0.59. Okay, let's do that now. Pi times 0.59. I'm going to leave my answer as a fraction, as it's more accurate, times pi. Okay, now what do we do with this? We want to know how many times this can fit into this. Okay, how many revolutions are we going to do, okay, around the track of a distance with a circumference of 249.64 etc. meters? So in our calculator we're going to do the following. Just going to scroll down slightly. You're going to do 249 point, actually no, do it this way. Get your fraction button together and do 54 pi plus 40 plus 40. Divide all that by, you're going to get another fraction here. You're going to do 59 over 100 pi. This is going to give you an answer of equals 134,686,0,863. Okay, so that is how many revolutions we've done. But we want, they said here, I'll highlight it again, complete revolutions. Okay, this part is not a complete revolution, so we did 134 complete revolutions. Okay, so you need 134 complete revolutions, or Ian does, in order to go around the track once. Okay, the distance from the Earth to the Sun is 1.496 times 10 to the power of 11 meters. The speed of light is 3 times 10 to the power of 8 meters per second. Show that, correct to 3 significant figures, light will take 0.39 hours to travel from the Sun to the Earth. So we need to know distance, speed, time. They've given us some information already, but they're asking for time. So they want us to show that when we work out these two, the distance and speed, we get it takes 0.13 hours for the sunlight to get to Earth. So let's do it now. Okay, so distance is equal to 1.496 times 10 to the power of 11. Okay, now if we're going to try and find out what time is, obviously we need to do distance divided by time. Time is here, right? We know time is going to be 3 times 10 to the power of 8, but this is per second. We don't like that, yeah, because we want it in hours, don't we? Yeah, how many seconds are in 1 minute? There's 60. We need to times it by 60. How many minutes are in an hour? There are 60. We need to times it again by 60. If you put this into your calculator, you will get the right answer. I'm going to pause the video for a second. Okay, I'm just going to write out the first 6 digits, okay, in my calculator. Right, the question is saying now, your answer needs to be left correct to 3 significant figures. This is your first, this is your second, this is your third. So you should already know that this 5 is going to increase the 8 by +1. So your answer is indeed 0.139 hours. 1 Google is 1 times 10 to the power of 100. Dinesh says, when I multiply 1.496 times 10 to the power of 11 by 6.68 times 10 to the power of 9, I get nearly 1 Google because 1.496 times 10 to the power of 11 times 6.68 times 10 to the power of 9 equals 9.99 times 10 to the power of 99. Is he correct? No. Why? Because what he's done, he has multiplied the powers. 10, 11 times 10 to the power of 9, which is, he thinks is going to be, actually, yeah, he thinks it's going to be this, but that's not correct. Okay, you actually have to add the powers, so it's going to be 10 to the power of 11 plus 10 to the power of 9. Hold on. So that should actually give you 10 to the power of 20. So he's wrong because he has multiplied the powers instead of adding them. Find an equation of the straight line with gradient 3 that passes through point A. Okay, so they've been quite generous with this question. They've already given us the gradient, okay? But let's just state our formulas here. So my equals mx plus c, okay? If we're trying to find out what m is, you need to know these off by heart. Minus x1, okay. So that's just for notation there. Okay, so we know that the gradient is 3. Okay, we've already got some coordinates here. X here is 2 and y is 5. So we've got 2 and 5 for our coordinates. In order to find out what the intercept is, which is c, I'm going to write this out here, y equals mx plus c. I'm going to use these coordinates 2 and 5 and I'm going to replace them. And I'm also going to replace m, which is your gradient of 3. Let me just write here for those who don't know, m equals 3. Okay, so let's do that now. So underneath, just rewrite it so you can all see what I'm doing. Y is 5. M is 3, put that in brackets. X is 2, put that in brackets, plus C. So obviously that's going to be 5 equals 3 times 2 is 6 plus C. Right? Now, obviously we are going to subtract 6 from both sides, so C is going to equal -1. So we know it crosses the intercept here. Okay, so let's find the equation. They're not asking us to draw it, they just said find the equation. So we've got y equals the gradient, which is 3x, and our intercept -1. This is the equation of the line, okay, that passes through point A. Okay, Factorize x squared minus 169. Whenever you see a quadratic that looks like this, it's called a difference of two squares. You need to know this, guys. Now, x squared minus 169. Okay, this is a square number, 169. Square root it, you're going to get 13. All you're going to do is just do x plus 13, x minus 13. That is it. Okay, you square root, you get minus 13, you get plus 13. Really straightforward stuff, and it's only one mark. With the next part, you're going to have to expand these two brackets out. 3x plus 2, 2x minus 1. Expand those, get a different color. Those and those, okay? So 3x times 2x is going to be 6x squared. 3x times minus 1 is going to be minus 3x. 2 times 2x is going to be plus 4x. 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. These can simplify here. You have minus 3x, add 4x. So now you're just going to have 6x squared plus x minus 2 as your final answer. Okay, so if you've made it this far, thanks for watching, guys. I would encourage you, if you found it useful, to rate the video, also share it as well. Share it on Facebook if you can. If you're interested as well, you can have a look at some of my other videos. Try looking at my volume and surface area video. That's really helpful. If you're still struggling with expanding brackets, check out that video as well. And also, if you're finding it difficult to factorize quadratic expressions, you can also view that video as well. Thanks again, and hopefully visit my website. And if you need a private tutor, you can also get hold of me through my website as well. Thank you very much. Bye.